welcome to Big Deal. This is the fiscal year-end special. Now, one can't really complain because it has been a year of the deal makers. M&A has picked up like never before. FY17 will go down in the history of Deal Street as a year with some remarkable transactions. Now, themes that clearly played out: consolidation and deals for debt resolution. One can't deny even restructuring plans by some of the big business conglomerates has really caught the attention of the market this year. Now, it is time to relive some of those marquee deals. So, presenting to you the top 5 deals of the year. Number one position, that goes to the mega merger of Idea and Vodafone India to create the largest telecom company in the country. Now remember that it was first broken by CNBC TV18 when the street did not even fathom that such a transaction is even possible. But now it's a reality, and mega merger to create a company worth $27 billion in enterprise value. It is a partnership of equals according to the deal construct, because both Aditya Birla Group and Vodafone PLC will have equal voting rights, even though the shareholding is different, which means that the Aditya Birla Group has 26% stake in the merged entity and 45% will be given to the London-based Vodafone PLC, and KM Birla will be at the helm as the chairman of the merged entity. One must note that it's a long road to the consummation of this particular transaction. It's a complex one, and the timeline given is the calendar year 2018, and the battalion of iBankers, remember, hired by Aditya Birla Group, have worked overtime to stitch together this mega transaction, and Morgan Stanley led the talks from the side of Vodafone PLC.
Nisha, we are very confident about the synergies, and we are very confident for 2 reasons. First, the large majority of the synergies come, of course, from the towers. And if you think about, 2 companies that are going together, and as I said, typically Idea are stronger where Vodafone is weaker, and Vodafone is stronger where Idea is weaker. We had some circles where we had single-digit market share, and maybe they have double-digit market share, and vice versa. So by putting together the towers, very easily you can see the total number of towers needed will be at least 20, but probably more % less than what it is today. And that means less electricity, less transmission, lower leases. This is relatively quick and relatively easy to achieve. Plus, of course, we have whatever the choice of IT systems, and we can reduce some duplication and redundancy. So we have experience as Vodafone of mergers. As you know, we have done a number of mergers in the recent years, and we always systematically have hit the synergies either earlier or higher than what we said. So I'm confident. Your question on Indus. Indus, we have an interest now completely aligned to maximize the value of the 11% that Idea owns, but also the 42% that Vodafone owns. And in this, we will work together with a third partner in Indus to find the possible best allocation of that money.
So Idea stake really makes for a kingmaker in the overall Indus stake, because now both combined have a majority in Indus. So what is the plan there?
That's not the way to look at it, because Indus has agreement between shareholders to allow everybody to have a fair voice at the table, and never, any of the 3 has been dominating the other 2. This is a healthy mechanism, and we are now more aligned on this side, but we have never been disaligned with Airtel. So I would see this as a joint effort to maximize the value of an extraordinary asset that this country has.
Your shedding the spectrum is concerned. Have you had pre-consultations with the regulators on whether you're going to get any money out of it, and also the regulatory approvals, because this is a complex deal?
No, we haven't, but keep in mind that, let's put things in context. The amount of extra spectrum that we have is few tens of megahertz out of 1,800. So it's really relatively tiny. Of course, we will try to sell it, and there might be other operators who here and there need it, in which case we will be very happy to take some money. Otherwise, we will just hand it over. But it's not a big thing. It's a small thing.
Of course, but regulatory approvals, Mr. Birla, because that delays the deal a lot in India.
That's an important question. I believe that the M&A guidelines set out by the Department of Telecommunications are very clear about M&A, about mergers and acquisitions. And I believe that that would go a long way in facilitating this process from moving smoothly.
All right, and the brand name, Idea, Vodafone, what will it be? What will be the name of the merged entity?
So both Vodafone and Idea are amazing brands in this country with a lot of loyalty and a lot of affinity created in their customers. We will definitely leverage on both.
Now the number 2 position for FY17 deals goes to the sale of SR Oil to Russian firm Rosneft and its partners for a whopping $13 billion. Now its partners, Trafigura and United Capital Partners or UCP are part of the consortium for this large transaction, and this one is one of the largest FDI investments into the country and also one of the biggest transactions for debt reduction as the prime focus. So remember that banks like SBI Caps, ICICI Bank have really toiled to get this deal together and going. Here out, Prashant Ruya on the deal.
I don't subscribe to this debt wars situation or story. We went out and made very, very large, capital-intensive investments. We brought a lot of equity. And normally, for any of these transactions, about 1/3 of the investment comes in the form of equity. Some of the projects got into difficulty because of some of the regulatory problems which we have had. And that gave concern to the debt, effectively, of those projects. I do believe that many of those issues have been addressed, and yes, I mean, from a group perspective, we have once again demonstrated our ability to build projects despite all the problems one faces in the Indian context, grow these businesses, create value, and then monetize at the right time.
You have created assets which have been sold to these foreign investors. Vodafone has come in, Rosneft has come in. So Prashant, what is your plan for SR Steel?
Now in the last 1 year, things have turned around for the steel industry. Obviously, on top of that, we had the global headwinds which commodity sector faced last year. We had a significant drop in the steel prices and iron ore raw material prices. And we had the added feature of dumping which was happening from China. So this all together became a fairly heavy mix for the sector. And thankfully the things have changed a lot in the last 9 months. Government of India has taken some very proactive steps by introducing MIP and anti-dumping, which has stopped the influx of dumping of Chinese steel. We have most of the issues which we faced in terms of project completion are behind us. The plant is now operating at about 70% of capacity, and in the next 2 quarters we hope to be close to full capacity. So most of the things which were affecting the industry and SR Steel in specific have also been addressed, and we are looking to the banks we're working with the banks to do a restructuring within the guidelines, whatever is permitted, so that we can move on and continue with the asset.
Prashant, obviously the banking system is also working with the companies which are capital intensive right now. And steel, power, these are some of the sectors which have been on top of their list as far as their exposure is concerned. Are there meeting grounds with the banks? Would you be okay with if they convert some part of the debt into equity and restructure the entire company so that it can be very able and viable going forward?
Nisha, all I can say right now is that there are going to be certain guidelines within which all the companies are going to get restructured. Whatever those guidelines are will be at par for most of the companies which fall under those guidelines. We will follow the guidelines. If those guidelines mean some equity needs to be, some debt needs to be converted to equity, well, then obviously we will have to fall in line with the guidelines.